Let's talk about a UK police drama that ran from 1975 to 78, had 2 films in the 70s, also had a film made in 2012, and it's got a great reputation and a lot of people still love it. Let's talk about The Sweeney. The Sweeney was a massively successful police drama here in the UK in the 70s. It also had the film Sweeney and also Sweeney 2. And then in 2012, Ray Winstone did the remake. And there's an interesting fact that you might know about it, you might not. We'll speak about that later. If you're not aware, then Sweeney is Cockney rhyming slang for Sweeney Todd, which is the flying squad. And the flying squad is a part of the Metropolitan Police, specifically in London, that deals with serious crime, violent crime. Before The Sweeney became the television series that we know, it was a one-off pilot called Regan, and it focused on Detective Inspector Jack Regan, played by John Thaw. Now, this was made by a Thames Television offset production company called Euston Films, and you might be familiar with them because they went on to create things. Well, first of all, it was Special Branch, then The Sweeney, and then more shows such as Minder. So you might recognise, if you watch a lot of those shows, specifically on channels like ITV4, quite often that you'll see that they're made by Euston Films. As they suspected, Regan was a huge success. They knew it when they were creating it. They had a feeling that they were onto something special there. And when they created The Sweeney, obviously you've got Dennis Waterman in it, and he's playing Detective Sergeant George Carter. What's interesting about The Sweeney, and it's probably one of the first, is that it's very gritty and realistic, and they are not the good guys in the sense that they're lovely, positive, really friendly, happy, jolly people. Obviously they're the good guys in the eye of the law, but it's quite gritty, they're quite moody, the policing can be quite stark, and they made an effort to make it very realistic, and it can be quite dark, quite gritty. There's obviously humour in there, but quite often it doesn't tie up all the loose ends in a neat bow at the end. Some of the endings can be quite sad. Quite a few episodes are sad, quite stark, and they don't always get their guy. Quite often the ending can leave you feeling like they didn't get the result that they were looking for. So quite realistic in that sense, and unusual. It was a bit of a trailblazer in that sense. What's also quite interesting about The Sweeney was they made an effort at that time to reflect a lot of what was happening in the flying squad. So if you've watched things such as Life on Mars and Ashes to Ashes, which was more 80s.
Gene humped your DCI and it's 1973, almost dinner time. I'm having oops.
Then you'll know that there was a lot of discussion at the time about the methods of policing and the way that the police interacted with, as you would call them, the baddies, the bad guys, and some of the methods that they used, and whether they were the right thing to do, whether it was it would stand up today. Obviously police corruption was a big thing, and they made an effort to reflect that in The Sweeney, and quite a lot of the storylines, quite a lot of the ways that they created the characters did reflect what was happening in the press at that point. And there was actually quite a lot going on in the area, shall we say, of real life flying squad employees being pulled up for behaviour that wasn't acceptable then, never mind now. And I think they really did make an effort to reflect that, and they made sure that they had a true reflection of the kind of policing and the methods that went on in order to catch their guys. And as you'll know if you've watched a lot of those shows, and today still watch them, the bad apples within the police force, and how they have to fish them out in the quest for making sure that they can tie up those cases and get their guy. What's amusing about The Sweeney is If you enjoy watching it, and if you did watch it and you've subsequently never stopped, or you've just discovered it now, it doesn't matter where you came into it, you'll probably recognise the style in the sense that it's been parodied quite a lot, and you only parody things that you love, and you only do impressions of characters that are worthy of it. And Jack Regan, especially John Thaw, he has encouraged a lot of very amusing catchphrases and impressions, and some of them that stand out, if you're a fan, you will likely agree rather, is put your trousers on, you're nicked, we're the Sweeney. Someone says, who are you? And he says, we're the Sweeney and we've not had our dinner. Something along those lines, I'm paraphrasing.
Get your trousers on. You're nicked.
Who are you?
We're the Sweeney, son, and we haven't had any dinner.
There was an advert, I think it was either the 90s or the early noughties, and it was for Nissan, and they parodied the Sweeney and the Professionals, and they did it so well. So with the Sweeney advert, the attention to detail, and again, you'd only parody something if you love it, and it was a really successful campaign, but the attention to detail that you see in that, and the Professionals one, which I hope we'll do at a later date, just lets you know that even at that point, 25 years on, there was still a lot of love for the Sweeney. So you'll see a lot of impressionists, you'll see a lot of clips online, you will see again those adverts. There's just a lot of love for the Sweeney, and again a lot of those little catchphrases and the little nuances that people love and enjoy and will never tire of watching.
Coffee, nosher, not oxtail soup.
Hey, hot coffee. Lemonades here.
Tastes like warm slurry. You could get nicked for... What now?
Paint job's on.
Oh, blimey. What the X this?
Sandra, Nissan Almira. Lovely little mover.
Shut it.
You sharp tiger.
Yes, even my hair's tense.
You ever thought of getting your eyebrows plucked?
Have you ever thought about having eyebrows grafted on? Road, not totty.
Where'd you get your tie, Gov? Billingsgate Market?
Why?
Because it honks of chub.
Marcus!
Stop shouting!
I can't! Oh, flipping heck.
Handles like a dream, Gov.
Well, wake up and shut up. That's an order. That's it. Hello, Squealer.
All right, Gov.
I said apple white. This is Parisian moonlight white.
I think you better get back to the yard, Gov, and get some more.
I'm really conscious in this video, I don't want to give away lots of storylines, because sometimes someone starts looking on YouTube for clips but they've not finished watching the series, but they've started to research it because they're interested in the characters or the actors. So I don't want to spoil anything for people. And also, if you love it too, you might be rewatching it, and sometimes you don't remember everything and you're rewatching it and then things are either fresh in your memory, or sometimes you watch an episode and you completely blanked it, you have no recollection at all. But there are a few that stand out to me, and again, guest actors too. Hit and Run, I don't want to give too much away, but that's a real Dennis Waterman focused episode, and that really gets your emotions. And there's a lot of talk online. I did read on IMDb, a lot of people feel that it's very 70s in its approach to what happens to him, but likewise a lot of people say no, that's the police, that's how the police are, that's how they react to things. So I'll let you tell me what you think of that, if you know what I'm talking about, the Hit and Run episode. Also, I love Hugh Bennett, the actor that was most popular, I suppose, for Shelley, to name one programme, but Hugh Bennett is amazing. And he was in The Sweet Smell of Succession, playing the estranged son of a gangster who appears to be happy to do whatever's required when his dad dies to get what he feels he is owed or would like to see. And seeing episodes where someone's just a phenomenal actor guest starring and just watching them interact with the characters, it's always a gift. but you've got so many big names. To name a few: Brian Blessed, June Brown, who's Doc Cotton in EastEnders, Jean Bolt, Ma Boswell in Bread, Patrick Troughton, who was in Doctor Who. I mean, the list goes on and on, but there are so many guest stars that, again, made their mark. And because it's quite often repeated on TV here, or you can access it online so easily, it's nice to see these people in different roles to how we usually see them. And I have a few did you knows, you might know, you might not know, is in 2012 when they were creating the Sweeney film with Ray Winstone, the Top Gear team, so that's your Jeremy, Richard and James, they did a part in one of the episodes where they actually helped to create some of the special effects, car chases, and they're actually credited as helping to create some of that, and it's a very amusing episode, especially the part that stands out with the caravan park. That's particularly funny.
What the hell? Hammond!
Another did you know, if you're aware of Little Britain and Dennis Waterman write the theme tune, sing the theme tune, in I think it's 1976, he actually did bring out an album and a record, and it didn't do so much, but he was really keen to do that. He did enjoy the singing side of his career. But it might not have done anything in 76, but 4 years later, when he was in Minder, we all know what happened. He did sing the theme tune. I think if he didn't write it, I think he might have co-wrote it. And that was huge. So he might not have had the success in 76, but he certainly had his success with I Could Be So Good For You in 1980. And again, if you know that song, I bet you're singing it now and you're going to sing it all day long. And finally, again, you might have forgotten, you might not even know, or you might be like, of course I know, Eric Morcambe and Ernie Wise guest starred in an episode of The Sweeney playing nightclub entertainers. And one of the reasons that they did that was because Dennis and John had appeared in the Morcambe and Wise Christmas show, might have been a year or two earlier, and the deal was that they would guest star on each other's shows. So if you watch The Sweeney, you may well see Eric and Ernie at their best featuring in that episode. And again, I think they always lift whatever they're in, and that's no different. So if you're looking for a bit of light relief in The Sweeney, then look out for their episode. I'd love to know your memories of The Sweeney. Do you still watch it when it seems to be on ITV4, when they do The Sweeney, The Professionals, Minder, Kojak, Dempsey Makepeace, sort of work them on a loop? Do you always make an effort to watch it when it comes back around on the loop? Because when I see it on ITV4, I certainly do. It's just so well done, I don't tire of it. And I think good acting, good storylines, it doesn't matter when a programme was made, I'll always go back to it, even if I've seen it multiple times. I'll still find something new in it, or I'll catch something that I didn't notice before. And I think that's a sign of a quality show, so I'll always watch it. And I'd love to know, do you always watch it? Do you have any standout episodes that you love? Any memories? Maybe, as a lot of people quite often say, you've got memories because it was filmed near you. I always love to know these stories. Have a great day and I'll see you again soon.